I lead a straight life, so to speak, so I'm sure that what I saw and heard last New Year's Eve wasn't the result of hallucinations or intoxication. It was 100% real. I live on the outskirts of Furnas, in Minas Gerais, a small and peaceful town surrounded by breathtaking landscapes. Some of my friends live even farther away, in rural areas accessible only by dog-proof roads. One of these friends, Rodrigo, lives with his family in one of the most isolated and affluent parts of the region, in a neighborhood surrounded by forests. Every year, Rodrigo's family hosts a New Year's Eve party at their large house, inviting friends and acquaintances. I always look forward to attending, as it's a great opportunity to gather and celebrate. That year, the weather was peculiar. The cold arrived just a few days before New Year's, and the chilly air, combined with the bumpy roads, made the trip uncomfortable. As a precaution, I decided to use the high beams, since the road was surrounded by dense trees and had no lighting. On the way, I passed the only structure before reaching Rodrigo's neighborhood, a seemingly abandoned cabin, though sometimes it appeared to have lights on inside. That night, everything was dark. A few minutes later, on a long and deserted stretch, I saw something white among the trees. It was the silhouette of a person standing by the side of the road. As I got closer, I realized it was a woman. She was wearing a thin white dress, inappropriate for the cold. She stood motionless, her back to the forest. I drove past her without slowing down. In the rearview mirror, I saw she had turned her body toward me, but she was still standing in the same spot. A chill ran down my spine, and I kept driving. The party at Rodrigo's house was excellent, as always. We celebrated until midnight, and gradually the guests began to leave. As usual, I stayed to help clean up. I left around 2 a.m., when my car was the only one left in the gravel circle in front of the house. When I started the car, I noticed a warning light indicating low tire pressure. I decided to ignore it, thinking it was due to the cold. Although I remembered the woman on the road, I chose to return the same way. After driving for a few minutes, I heard a strange noise, like metal scraping. My car began to shake and came to a stop. When I got out to check, I saw that all the tires were slashed, as if something had shredded them with claws. The silence was oppressive, and the wind whistled through the trees. While inspecting the tires with my phone's flashlight, I felt a presence behind me. I didn't hear footsteps, but I knew I wasn't alone. I slowly turned around and saw her again. The woman in white was standing a few meters away, leaning forward, her head tilted at a strange angle as if observing me. Her eyes were black holes in her pale face. I ran back to the car and locked the doors. She was now beside the window, staring at me intently. I tried to start the car, but the destroyed tires made it shake violently. Then she lightly tapped on the window. My heart raced. I grabbed my phone to call for help, but there was no signal. When I looked back, she was gone. I drove slowly until I got home, with destroyed tires and a heavy heart. The next day, the mechanics couldn't explain the state of the tires. To this day, I avoid that road. I still wonder who or what was that woman.